Laura Loomer, the free spirit, asking Pentagon press secretary questions. And you might be wondering, what the f is Laura Loomer doing in that room? Well, that's because the people in that room have signed a loyalty pledge to the Pentagon. And those who did not sign said loyalty pledge to the Pentagon, which literally includes Fox News, by the way, are not in that room. Yeah, New Media Week at the Pentagon is happening right now, and the DoD has brought in a phalanx of newly accredited members of the press corps, some of whom, Laura Loomer and Cam Higbee, are competing to claim sole possession of the Washington Post's former desk. Note, they aren't the same desk. Here is Laura Loomer saying, the Washington Post and Dan Lamothe used to occupy this desk inside the Pentagon press room. Now it's mine. I can confirm the former Washington Post Pentagon desk is now the Fearless Media desk. This is Cam Higbee of PragerU. And Dan Lamothe actually got in on the fun and said, y'all are going to have to work this one out for yourselves. Because R.C. Maxwell also said, the Pentagon cubicle that used to belong to Dan Lamothe is now mine. Out with the propagandists and hacks. In with the truth tellers who love America. Every single person is saying they got Dan Lamothe's... Joey Manorino is another person that got the press pass, by the way, at the Department of War. This is, look, listen. A lot of the previous mainstream media Department of Defense reporters are already major writers of the American State Department to begin with. This is probably the weakest aspect of truth in journalism. It also is some of the strongest parts of at least press history, okay? You have some of the greatest reporters in American history that have come from this background. And in recent years, unfortunately, some of the worst. Having said that, this new devaluation, this new regression that we're experiencing is, and I can't believe I'm saying this once again, completely fucking unprecedented. It's not enough that you have NatSec writers who are already taking the outline of whatever the State Department is saying and repeating it verbatim ad nauseum in the New York Times or in Washington Post. That wasn't enough at all. We have now moved into a new era where even that's not enough. You have to quite literally sign a loyalty pledge to the Pentagon to be in that room. It is so fucked up that even Fox News refused to sign said loyalty pledge that dictated that you cannot report on any information that you get from the Pentagon that the Pentagon doesn't sign off on ahead of time. Per the Associated Press, The Post, Associated Press, CNN, Reuters, and Newsmax were some of the outlets that said Monday that they had requested special access to the Pentagon to cover question and answer sessions, but were denied. Instead, you have Joey Manorino and Laura Loomer and Cam Higbee and all of the fucking annoying reply guys that you see in my replies on Twitter. Now those are the only guys in the Pentagon press pool for the new media hour. And Ryan Grim has obviously been pissed off. Cam, you signed a document promising not to do real journalism in exchange for this desk. You are a disgrace to the craft. Nobody cares if you have a degree. Break some news or shut the fuck up. Being given a desk by the government is not an achievement. And then Lance Videos replies, quote, retweets and says, not true whatsoever. We are allowed to ask any questions and post anything we'd like. Stop lying at Ryan Grim. To which Ryan Grim replied with, show us the document you signed. Cam Higbee says, Ryan, the full document has been publicly posted since October. Please do some real journalism, Mr. Journalist. Here it is. To which Ryan replied with, Cam, I was hoping you hadn't signed this document, but maybe you hadn't actually read it. You have now promised only to solicit information from approved government sources, promised not to speak to sources who aren't explicitly authorized to speak with you, and have promised not to even post on social media that you are interested in getting tips. At least the military spokespeople are getting paid by the military. You're doing their job for free. This document was so fucking insane that even Fox News did not sign off on it. Okay? I need you to understand something. Fox News did not sign off on this document. That's how fucking psychotic this is. Cam Higbee replies with, well, thank you, Ryan, for proving my point. This says simply that we cannot illegally solicit classified information, which also applied to the old press corps. Okay, man, enjoy whatever it is you think you're doing over there. Just stop calling it journalism if it doesn't involve obtaining and publishing what the government wants hidden. Every day they allow you into the building under these compromised conditions is another day you have debased yourself. It's so crazy. He's like, oh, well, it just means you can't illegally solicit classified information. Yeah, except if they change the boundaries of what what the government, considers to be illegal. First of all, fuck you mean illegally solicit information? You're a goddamn journalist, okay? Can you imagine a world where the Republicans would feel some type of way if, for example, the Biden administration took the initiative to refuse to work with reporters that reported on illegally obtained information, like the Biden, the Hunter Biden laptop saga, okay? Sorry, you can't report on whistleblowers. That we've decided that's illegal. Sorry, you can't report on anything that the WikiLeaks has figured out because that's illegally obtained information. You can't report on the Hunter Biden laptop. You can't report on Hillary's emails. Now, the reason why I brought up Hunter Biden's laptop is ironically because that is something that they were very mad about. That was a huge gripe for Republican reporters, right? For Republican newscasters, for Republican commentators. They were really fucking mad about that shit. Now they're signing off on they're basically signing off on access. They're trading off access for conceding ahead of time that they will not be doing any real reporting on any of the shit that they're getting from being inside of that room. It's awesome. It is totally ridiculous.